Episode 25. Truly the beginning of the end. Everyone, we're about to finish the game.
The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
So, Ken, this leads to the depot and Land's End.
Ah, yes, so it seems.
What do you think it was used for?
For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain.
From who?
From enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe.
Man, there are a lot of revolutions in Revachol around this place. And another weird thing about them is that they all failed. The communist revolution failed. The king of Revachol's attempt to battle against the people invading his country failed. He was a failure. Revachol, this entire game seems to be focused on a couple of things, like the nature of failure and the nature of lying to yourself.
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop.
What is that flutter?
Far away birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea. The flock of quail departs, now more than 100 meters away. 102, 105. On the islet, there is almost no wind, just the light movement of air through the reeds. Bulrushes swaying on the waterline. Long dried leaves chafing against each other, like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work, of great importance to the few who attend.
Cam?
Yes?
This is where a lesser man would stop to think about the pain shooting up his right leg and into his groin. Not you. You're concentrated on how...
Have you noticed how quiet it is?
I have. Is that why we're stopping?
Wait, listen to one more thing.
The lieutenant nods in silence.
Beyond that, further north.
Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air cossets flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. Bulrushes motionless.
Below the surface.
Big jitter. A sound impatient to happen, but not yet in this world.
So ahead.
A low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating, hollow. A big building.
To the east then.
The faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand, the low tide filtered through its grains, a bird tending to its feathers.
And finally to the west.
A silent hiss, sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree. ICM. This feels familiar somehow.
It sounds like RCM. Revachol Citizens Militia.
It does. The RCM
Why?
may descend from the ICM.
May.
It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals.
So what is the ICM?
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communals Army, the black and white army of the revolution.
Sounds an awful lot like.
What's old? What's it still doing here?
After 44 years, that's not nearly enough time to hide what happened here, officer. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel.
Are those SARS too?
No, that's the uninhabited archipelago.
A DeLorean era symbol of Insulinda, known as the face in the sea.
Revachol is basically France. The Yaojiao is a very Soviet bloc country. Soviet a little bit. The RCM and the ICM have a real-world analog, because I know the developers of this game were from a country similar to Revenshul in the first place.
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft cover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out caracol blanket.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
Think here slept here is.
Force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
Okay, an hour.
You face
We're fine.
the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark corner. Like a dog, you lie there. You didn't realize how tired you were. Your body is still nowhere near healed. The blanket feels cold. It's someone else's blanket, and the room is all concrete and cold.
The
Sounds of the sea beyond grow distant. Slowly, your eyelids close.
Sleep is merciful this time, brother. Not too deep. Lit by the continuous sound of the sea outside.
And a little something in there. A sensation. A bow drawn across a string. Something small and crustacean-like.
No, relax, man. It's just the comfortable darkness. Interrupted by the pain from your body. A telegraph. Far away.
Far enough not to hurt for a while.
You do so many times. Until dim light starts peeking into the hood you're under. The rough caracol. More and more each second. Time to face it again. The wall. And you.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized. Most are soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures.
That was really weird.
Popular depictions
It was a little weird. Money at a point where I really don't think we'll need money anymore. Interesting.
Husband and wife. Widely read by people from all walks of life. Who doesn't like nature? Who doesn't want to survive? Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp. Light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders.
Someone's made themselves a home.
All things communist. Doesn't matter anymore.
You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small.
How do I open this?
Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door.
You're right, we won't open this one. Do you see controls anywhere?
I think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan.
An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right. The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
What does this mean, a generator here?
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
I mean, why is it here?
Someone who has basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm.
The wind outside picks up suddenly.
Alright,
With a faint howl.
so where do these
Inside,
wires lead?
Downstairs, somewhere?
A hollow ring. The canister is empty. Dust falls from the generator.
So,
down
go
into
downstairs. Alright. I didn't think I could get over there, but I didn't think I could get over there, to be honest, for some reason, but okay. Are we still gonna need money for something coming up? War rushes?
Green paint flecks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are
Okay.
rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard. The keys rattle like teeth. This keyboard hasn't been functional in decades.
What is this then?
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out. They terminate here.
Could just open the blast door.
Possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radio diffusé. It sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe it still does.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors, control lights, function as a radio computer. Nothing happens. The dial slides under the glass, silently. You make out defunct stations on the UKV frequency. The words, Feld Insula, are written on the band.
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe, used for military communications.
It's an air-gapped system, an off-air military model. Its circuits are nearly impossible to bend, i.e., it cannot be remote controlled.
Go for the military in this case.
We need to restore power before using this, officer. The generator, it didn't look like there was fuel in it. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over. Maybe one of them still has something in it.
The boat engine.
Or I could get some from the boat engine.
But officer, then we would have to swim back to the mainland. Let's just look around, okay?
The consul stands by.
Fuck. Damn. Damn, I'm not being a kid. Says everyone who's actually a kid still. Doesn't matter how old you are, stop acting like an adult. You'll be actually treated like one. Doesn't matter how old you are. Så kolla det. Så kolla. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Alright.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns.
They were.
And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Druan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, the legendary cigarette from Grad. Tio Moteri is favored by older men for its paper filter tips, sweet smell, and added tar.
Don't know. I saw the same rare cigarettes extinguished in Land's End.
Could be a coincidence. Or the same person has visited Land's End and here. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window. Quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out.
Don't know. I don't care.
A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B. The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area. The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. You see a small fleck of white on the rooftop. The upstairs window of Clausia's room. In the snow, reflecting light.
My God.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that.
Cam, with our binoculars, I was able to see inside the room.
Whenever you wanted, like your own little dollhouse.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
Cheek against a cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Cam, I can make it. I can make the shot.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Whew. Booyah. Master cop work.
It's only moderately effective cop work until we have the weapon. It will not be, how do you say it, booyah, until we have that.
Could the ship still be here?
Where?
In Martinez.
I have always assumed it's someone local.
He feels uncomfortable suddenly.
We should move now.
All right, everyone. We did that. We did the dude. Now we have a. Now we know where the shot was made. We're good. Okay. Nah. I think it's kind of. Well, let's see here.
This old cylindrical generator.
All right, fuel.
Assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt.
No, they're.
Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch. The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
That should do it.
Open says me.
A dim
It's on.
automatic, the blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in. A sudden wave of anxiety makes your skin crawl.
After you.
Let's go. No reason to be scared to surviving 3 fully armed militiamen in the face. Got more. Don't have time to be free anymore. Let's see.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers
Ooh.
leans on the frame stock
Interesting.
of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp.
You retained your eyesight. You retained your eyesight, sir.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
A shudder of disgust passes his left side. His right side remains motionless.
Did you close the blast door?
I did. And you opened it. How?
Fuel the generator, then use the console.
I should have burned that console down.
How do you know what's coming?
The boat engine. On the water.
Yeah, you would be able to hear it. Nice guy got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
That Bell McGrath?
It's a 3-Yangon 446.
Southeast Samaran made. Exotic. Must be defunct.
Made.
No modern rifle manufacturer of that name springs to mind.
A Samaran rifle.
Yeah, that's pretty rare then.
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyal military aid.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
The Sin Yao Commune? Your weapons stay true to you. Mine stay true to me. Me too.
Yes, I bet you've killed a lot of people with it.
Oh,
You
God.
fascist.
Sir, I'm about as far away from fascist as you can get.
Have you come to make me one of them?
His left eye twitches. With what? Fear? Rage?
We have come to ask you questions, nothing more. If you do not comply, we will take you in. Do you understand?
Another spitball lands in the ashes. That's all the answer he gives.
Guilt. Not what we're doing.
The danger levels here are
Yeah.
hard to read. One moment he's afire, the next, a fire gone out.
Alright. What's the commune about?
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk, white from the ball.
He's right. Almost no one remembers there was a third metastasis of the world revolution in the Safre Empire, extinguished in 06.
But I remember it, sir.
They wouldn't like hearing their name in your mouth. Damn dog.
I'm the police. You can keep the gun, but keep it down. No one.
Sit down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
Like an amputated limb in the sand.
Oh, let's pick it up.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire. Still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold. This weapon has been modified several times.
Looks like you've patched this thing out quite a few many times.
I wonder how old it is.
The old man does not answer. He just stares in front of him. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burned into the wood. Triangle, 4.4.
It's as he said. It's a triangle.
Insignia.
Worn, personalized even. Looks like this weapon has
So
seen a
kinda-
lot of use, hasn't it, sir?
No response from the old man. The plastic cape around his shoulders rustles in a small bout of wind.
Jacked ammunition, 4.46.
Jacketed, military-grade ammunition. Stable in flight. Good for hitting something that's very, very far away.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. Some kind of involuntary response? Something is slightly off with his motorings.
What are we using this gun for?
No reply. His leg twitches. You went in too fast. Overeager.
Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
The Commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? Your holdover from
the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the Army of the Revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the Commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties. 43 years. No. I've been on other islands too. I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
43 years of hiding?
43 years and 10 months.
That's insane.
It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41.
Always waiting. For her to return.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution.
She better come. I too will give my life to Maziovian socioeconomics.
A waste. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed.
Yeah, it failed. Revolutions fail. It's a theme of failure.
However hard I try, whatever I do.
So, deserter, you say desert your unit, deserter?
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the explanation I need.
Well done. I won't explain it to a minion of capital.
How you survive all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
What'd you steal?
Supplies, vegetables, collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die.
Do you see?
You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
You also have jewelry.
We have Duramoon. They're up. Oh, wait, these must be in pain.
I have been running out of that stuff.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now.
You're addicted, aren't you?
It's the little joys. The dark joke. A sunshiny day. Morphine.
Yeah, thanks for clearing it up.
He looks at you, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere.
So what? So termless surrender?
You're with the RCM. The coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
I know it looks like, but I have a secret plan to turn the RCM into a Mazian revolutionary unit.
Rock and roll posturing. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, the Parti Communiste en Soulande. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve.
It's not really worth it.
No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit.
Alright. Communist soldiers in the Communist Army.
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
Fine.
Like you belong to the Moralist Party.
Another serious question.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
For a 60-year-old man with stomach trouble, who spent his entire life alone on an uninhabited island, he seems surprisingly fit. He's clearly a drug user of the painkiller sort, prone to erratic hand gestures, and malnourished. But that's it. The moment passes, and you say,
Why have you used this gun for, old man?
What have I used it for? I've used it for killing people.
here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that.
You're wrong. No. Sit down.
I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while.
But what?
This is what you live for. This is the shit. The great serotonin jackpot. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
So you're saying you kill people after active fighting stopped?
What did I just say?
Oh no, you were wrong. Don't listen to your hands, for God's sake. You're too close.
I know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me.
Jesus Christ.
I'm wrong all the time.
Did you use that gun to shoot or kill a colonel, the security contractor colonel?
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it. You're in.
The fascist death squad took a bullet to the mouth of the night of March 4th.
Oh yes, that one.
There we go.
Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the Commune of Revachol.
Did you kill him?
I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
A drop of blood in the saliva. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
We've done ballistics. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower.
Communism killed me.
You had a long
Communism killed me indeed. Because this communist soldier killed him. Okay.
You have been here a long time, Mr. Drums. Too long. You need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
The view is perfect. With pair of binoculars I could have seen in the room.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him.
Stupid twat.
Loving Class J did him in. Because it put him in a position to be killed by this communist soldier.
The lieutenant.
Very interesting.
With worry in his eyes.
It was intuition. Had he spoken, he would have said communism killed him.
Intuition is an aberrant psychologism. It reeks of crypto-fascism. The parasite class use intuition to justify their rank in life. It's all just palmistry and magic, Earl creatures. Your brain is rotting from the radio waves.
He does not answer. It does not look like he thinks this approach worked.
Well, we don't need your cooperation anyway, because we got this.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun, not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those, jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen.
We saved a lot of them. The leader, we handled the situation.
You didn't handle anything. I watched it happen. You let those murderers rip right into them. Got most of them killed.
Jesus Christ, you.
Even the fat one. None of those people mean anything to you.
Jesus Christ,
The
deserter
vultures
man.
feed on this city, and you prepare the meal for them.
So you watch the fight. Did you like what you saw? The mayhem. It was all your doing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you get the weapon all over me. That whole situation's your fault.
You don't know anything.
Stop changing the subject. You have the mirror weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Do you think we have the mirror weapon?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
Then we have the mirror weapon.
Good. This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
Alright, what am I forgetting, apparently?
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Oh, yes.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Nowhere else, nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them this spring. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up.
Thank you, reaction speed.
You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul. Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
There are Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them. So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
You're only named Class J. Ringing bells? You saw flowers behind the window.
Class J.
You know her, right? She had into relations with the victim. Love did him in.
With the victim.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile. Yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
What brand of boots are you wearing?
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa. Some shit.
Show me the souls, please, Mr. Torres.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is Sensorique. The model is Cordobe.
Corbin.
And the size is 43.
The size fits, but not the soul.
Maybe it's simpler than that.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes. Doesn't mean you weren't there. Sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters. They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The
Pretty
old
much.
man stares at his
Jeez.
own prints in the ash around the fire. Silence suddenly. Some strange process within him. A gush of wind.
No,
Seagulls in the
I don't.
distance.
You say it has to be his shoes.
You
No,
know
it had to be his
he was.
shoes. They have to be his shoes. Yeah.
Trained murderer, armored and armed. He was human. The blunt end of a hammer, dripping with blood.
He was a soldier too, a man. Don't disrespect fellow soldiers at the battlefield, man. Don't do that.
Beating us to the ground, moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention.
happened here? I really
Now you stop eating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
So you killed him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you, while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, And that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then, a hot flash of rage almost carries the smile away. Some dark peace.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white. Or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at Dan, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
I don't understand. Do you, detective?
Why were you looking at them at that night?
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
I think he was just voyeuristic. He's just a voyeur.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
He's just a voyeur.
Helps him see all the shit.
And if you don't like it,
Click.
If it's part of the shit you see.
then you pull the trigger?
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
What didn't you like about the what you saw?
Them fucking. I didn't like that.
So you're jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the
You didn't
arms
like
of a
him
young
enjoying
woman.
yourself.
I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode.
You're just an old, angry soldier.
She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second. Writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her.
Jesus Christ.
But
The
have
murderer.
Her body sweating from the drugs, slick from cerebral hemorrhage. The caliber of bullet he used does not do that kind of damage.
Did you have feelings for that woman?
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
One more thing about this woman.
Inexplicably, it doesn't go with his pain.
How have you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez, I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving,
Past the Fell building on the ghost? What was she doing there?
hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
And beautiful.
That, too.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark.
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on right there. She needed it just to move. Her passport and ticket to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
In the free state of Semonine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy, we should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. I mean,
Oh, moving on. Did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
Spook. What does that mean again? Oh, okay, spy. Right, a spy. How did you see all this? The bruises she was beaten?
I'm not blind, am I?
How does he know these details about her body? The footprints of dust could have changed shoes around the peephole.
It quickly comes to you.
The bruised body, any chance you've seen through a hole in the wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Jesus Christ.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Ever see you through a window on the roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
So you've been through the secret route behind the whirling and rags. Those were your footprints. You should change your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that, too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do.
Jesus Christ.
Funny.
Oh, man.
Like works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in the hostel now after a good wash. They all think I'm an antisocial, a vagrant. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen.
You blend in perfectly with the crowd. No one would notice you.
Steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
One more thing. The flowers, Mr. Zoss. The dried flowers that were on the roof.
What about them?
Did you eat the dried maybells behind her window?
I did. I shouldn't have. It was a mistake.
Why did you?
I was there one night, and she was crying.
Oh my
My
god.
child in the corner of her room, on the floor. I'd never seen her do that before.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her maybells.
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
You wanted to console her.
Maybe. I have these holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more.
So in conclusion, it wasn't about the fascist soldier, it was about the spook.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
She got away, but she let us hear first. She figured out someone was watching her from the seafort.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week at the island, like she knew. She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Riverdale. The oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lusan's Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
Looking north.
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from it.
Oh, I can literally spider sense that Class J is leaving.
Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south.
This is such a cool perk in any RPG I've ever played. Oh my goodness. Farewell, Class J. Just try not to let this hold you back anymore.
Smaller, distant, hidden. Not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water. And across it, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible, if she didn't squint her eyes.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Sorry about this, I just need to... this is now a massive put.
I ain't going anywhere.
Alright.
The old man stares despondently at the logs. It's like what strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. It's precisely what you could not see before. For a man who spent 44 years in the urban world.
You're pretty okay.
Indeed. He speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated.
By what, though?
It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic.
And by getting high?
Like threads, as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system, and also flashes of lust simmering in there. Not too common in people his age.
Wouldn't his glands have stopped by now then?
There is definitely something hormonal there. Whatever the condition he's suffering, there is a sexual element to it.
Dementia then?
You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even. Not senile. Is this some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something? Not only the painkillers he's clearly on.
Are you on some kind of psychoactive substance?
No. I won't be stuffed full of shit like the rest of this city.
You said you take painkillers.
I take them to cope with pain. The people of this city use painkillers because they have pain. Untreated illnesses. Not enough money for a greedy doctor.
It's not a downer, rather an upper, judging by his snaps.
How about Purolidon?
I don't know what that is.
Amphetamines?
Like some kind of decadent rock star.
How's your memory then?
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course. Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried? Keep your eyes peeled.
Oh well. Oh well. You're under arrest for the murder of Colonel, or murder of Colonel. Here in Martinez.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But... No, I don't want to.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Pupils are dilated too. Eyes getting blacker and blacker.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Wait up.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, in the middle of it, something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin.
Huh.
A very small violin, made of reeds and rushes.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Shh, Cam, do you hear that?
What?
What are you talking about? Is this... really us?
Your skin crawls.
What am I listening to?
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
What in the world is that?
What are you talking about?
The giant stick insect.
There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It
The
looks
insulin plasmid.
tiny pinprick eyes
Oh my god.
and a grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you, and your gun hand move to your holster to grab the gun.
There it is. I see it.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Cam, can you see it?
I can see it.
It's really there.
He's actually looking at the plasmid. Oh my god. The plasmid is real.
Long and slender.
That old lady in wheelchair did see it.
Be very, very careful.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna... Oh my god. Yeah, episode's gonna end here. Episode's gonna end here, guys. There's just been so much that happened so far, and it's over an hour long already.